Ready to play?
I'm ready.
Record rather?
Y'all ready? Okay.
When you remove the unhealthy options,
I'm gonna go back just to
wholesome
have
and
a
nutritious food becomes. Because of the planning, this wasn't the least bit difficult to do. When you remove the unhealthy options, wholesome and nutritious food becomes both plan A and plan B. The beauty of this solution is that it takes willpower almost completely out of the equation. Quite simply, if it's not there, you can't eat it. An added bonus to this strategy is that if there's no chips on the counter calling your name, it's likely that you'll just forget about them and completely avoid the feeling of deprivation all at once. A little bit of a brain block.
You say brain block?
Yes,
You did.
it
A brain block, okay.
This may sound a little bit too simple to be true, but I assure you it's not. When you remove the barriers to your success, in my little brother's case, unhealthy food, and you pave the way barrier-free, the road to success becomes a much smoother ride. So set up your environment so that it works for you instead of against you. This works well for any goal. For my little brother, I was the environment. I made all of his food, gave him the right snacks, and answered all of his questions. But what would that have looked like if I wasn't there, and how can you make this work for you? Well, to be successful, you have to minimize the difficult decisions being made. Say, for example, you walk out into the lobby, and on the left of those tables is delicious chocolate chip cookies, squares, and everything alike. On the right side is fresh fruit and vegetables, vibrant colors, chopped up nicely, they're crunchy and juicy. Now you've been sitting in here for 2 hours, so you're starving. You have a choice to make. Should you choose option A on the left, or should you choose the wholesome, nutritious broccoli on the right? Given this scenario, I think it would be very hard for most of us to resist the temptation of option A. Now this is a real life situation, and it's one that happens all the time. It's very important because of that reason. So when you remove the barriers to your success, it will just become a little bit easier for you to not have to make that hard decision in the first place. Here's how you can make this strategy work for yourself. Start off by finding out what your personal trigger foods are and make a promise to not keep them in your house anymore. So that when the time comes, the decision has already been made for you. Now that's not to say you can never have these foods again.
Just a point with us, we don't know where he's going. So if I was interpreting simultaneous and I got something like that, I would probably hold that piece. It's not to say that you can't have any of those foods again. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. So I may or may not choose to interpret it yet until I hear what he's gonna say. You have that power, and it's okay if you went ahead and chose. Now we'll see what happens.
If you really want one, you can always just go to the store and buy one, or you can keep it so that you're only having them at special events such as this. Just don't keep a stash underneath the cupboard if you know that they're going to be an issue for you. That's how you make your environment work for you instead of against you. That's how you make healthy eating the default and not the exception. So if you have a personal goal of eating better, go home, find all of your junk food and a neighbor that you're not particularly fond of, and give it all to them. The basis of this strategy worked for my little 11-year-old brother, and it can certainly work for you too. Let me just finish off by sharing the final results of my little brother's lifestyle change. Let me also just point out that I had one main rule that I wanted to follow with the change. At no point did I want my 11-year-old brother to feel hungry or deprived. Here's how that worked out. For the first 7 days, they lost 5 pounds. After the second week, it was 8 pounds. But it didn't just stop there. I went back to write exams, and he kept going. After 20 days, it was 10 pounds. And by 36 days, he had averaged half a pound a day to top it off at 18 pounds lost.
Oh.
You can go ahead and stop your videos. We're about